Comes on and my time should start. Mr Deputy Speaker, for those that may be listening, sitting in their cars or watching on TV or online, those small numbers in the gallery, it's very easy and very tempting to be drawn in by rhetoric. It's very easy, you know, and the big numbers of targets to make a political party look like they're in touch with the nation. It's very easy. Just like it was to say we're going to have surpluses and never delivered, or, you know, the member for Sydney, as the opposition spokesman, talks about another $20 billion worth of foreign aid, but we've never seen any commitment to that in a budgetary sense. They talk about tax reform, full of rhetoric, but when it comes to actually leaving things on the table for a serious debate, they run a million miles. So I'd say to those people listening, don't ever listen to my rhetoric, don't ever listen to the Prime Minister's rhetoric, and certainly don't listen to the rhetoric on the other side. Look at the outcomes. Look at the outcomes. Now, when it comes to renewable energy, which this MPI is about, let's talk about the outcomes. There was great discussion in the Howard era around signing the Kyoto Agreement. But here's the reality. We surpassed the Kyoto Agreement. We then moved to the next phase of a commitment, bipartisan it was, of 20% of our energy use to be renewable by 2020. Well, we're well on track for that to be 23.5%. So don't look or listen at the rhetoric, look at the outcomes. Now, Deputy Speaker, it is true that when you ask your constituents, or if you do a survey, that renewable energy in the community is very popular. And of course, you ask anybody, you know, should we be working towards more renewable energy? Of course the response will be 70 or 80% positive. But here's the kicker, Deputy Speaker, which no one ever wants to talk about, and that is, if you add just a slight addition to the question, is do you support more embracing of renewable energy at any cost to your family's budget? I would suggest to everybody listening today that that number would be nowhere near 70 or 80%. People would want clarification on what the cost of that popular embrace is to be. So let me tell you the facts as they stand right now. To generate energy through coal, or hydro, in fact, and I come from the state of Tasmania, and we've been dealing in renewable energy well before most other people's electorates in this place. But if you want to pay the cost of generating coal or hydro, it comes at a cost of around about $35 or $40 a megawatt hour. If you want to deal in gas to generate your energy, the costs are at $65. Wind is somewhere between $85 and $115, so let's call it $100 a megawatt hour. And that solar comes at a cost of over $200 for every megawatt hour. Why do I raise this? I raise it simply to make this point. It comes at a cost to someone. You want to achieve renewable energy targets that are being pushed by the opposition without any regard to the impact, the financial impact on the bottom line of the budget, and in turn on the bottom line of family budgets. You have to take this into account. If you want renewable energy, two things are the options. One, the government, taxpayers, the government doesn't have money, we only have the people's money. We have to subsidise those generating costs so it's affordable to use solar, as we did with the subsidies we provided for years, so that families can afford that good feeling of renewable energy. Or secondly, forget the subsidies. Who pays? The consumer has to pay the total cost. That's the facts. There's no other option. I hear them very quiet. You can hear the crickets over there. There's no other option. Either government subsidises it or the taxpayer pays it. Either way, the taxpayer pays. Either way, the taxpayer pays. So I'd ask everyone listening, don't take account of the rhetoric. Take account of the outcomes. What would be the outcome on an Australian family as a result of the targets that those opposite are espousing? I'll tell you what it is. It's absolutely disastrous. It's absolutely disastrous. Your electricity bills across Australia, folks, are way too dear now. If you think they're dear under the current arrangement, you want to take on board their policies, they'll go up tenfold overnight.